Hey everybody, welcome back to another 1989 Honda Prelude video. This week, we're going to ceramic coat the car with Avalon King Armor Shield 9. Stay tuned. Well, you joined me today inside my garage, and it's actually very hot outside today. So I wanted to film the first part of this inside. Wanted to show you, for those of you that haven't seen it, this is my nearly all original 1989 Honda Prelude Si. I've had this car for many years. There's an entire playlist of this car on the channel, but the purpose of today's video, I was very happy when Avalon King reached out to me and offered to send me some of their products. So this car is normally kept very, very clean, but for the last few weeks, I haven't dusted it, and I don't know if it's coming through on video, but it's very, very dusty. So it's been taken to Cars and Coffee, but I mean, there's just a lot of dust on it. So you can see right there. And I've done that on purpose just to kind of make the video a little more dramatic. But the first thing we need to do is actually wash it and strip off. I've got some very light carnauba wax on the car, and out of all my vehicles, this is the one that I've never ceramic coated. So it's really kind of perfect. And like I mentioned before, this paint is pretty much all original. So there's many videos on YouTube about ceramic coating brand new cars, and certainly I've done that. I've ceramic coated my 2021 Chevy Silverado, but today we're going to focus on 33-year-old paint. So for those of you that maybe haven't seen, this is my 1989 Honda Prelude Si, and this is the interior. It's actually in really good condition. Pretty much all original, front and back. And I do a lot of Cars and Coffee shows and car shows and Radwood and Japanese classic car show with this. And like I mentioned before, the paint is actually all original except for parts of the doors on both sides. They've been repainted, but the rest of the car is original 1989, what I think to be possibly a lacquer paint job. And it does have some light surface scratches, as you can see. It's not perfect, and honestly, I'm not going to do any sort of paint correction simply because I don't know the condition, and I've never done any kind of paint correction on this. So you will see some surface scratches, and there's a couple on the roof, a couple on the trunk lid, but that's just kind of a badge of honor at this point for this car. So I'm gonna wait a little bit. It's midday right now. I'm gonna wait till it gets a little bit later in the day and a little bit cooler. I'm gonna pull it outside. I'm gonna give it a good wash with, and you can see the dogs are kind of laying there. It's hot out. I'm gonna give it a good wash with some dish soap, kitchen dish soap, to kind of strip off any of the carnauba wax that I have on here. And we'll give it a wipe down, and then we'll give it a coating. Okay, well, it's a little later in the day. It's a little cooler, and the car is partially in the shade. So I'm gonna give this thing a wash. And like I mentioned before, I'm gonna do something I would never, ever, ever do. And that's actually use dish soap to strip any wax and grease that's on the car. I'm gonna give it a good scrubbing and then dry it. And we'll bring it back in the garage and we'll apply our coating. Stay tuned.
I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I want to visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country
All right, I actually washed it twice. There's still some beading going on, but you know, I stripped it of as much of the carnauba wax that possibly could. So I think when I'm done, I'll wipe it down. If I can find some rubbing alcohol, I'll use it. If not, I might use some, perhaps Windex or something, just to give it one final clean. I'm gonna dry it off, then we'll bring it back in the garage and we'll start coating. In this particular lighting, you can kind of see the quality of the paint. It's actually pretty good. Like I said, there are some love marks or surface scratches that are gonna remain. I'm not gonna polish those out, but this is originally a single stage paint and it does tend to oxidize rather quickly. So about a month ago, I did spend quite a bit of time polishing it out, and then I put the coat of carnauba wax on it, which I have now just stripped off. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and give it an additional wipe down with some glass cleaner and a microfiber towel. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the glass. I like to do the glass and the body. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of just spray this on and wipe it down. Be right back. Okay, with the car all wiped down, just real quickly, I just wanted to show you some of those scratches I'm talking about. You can see some right here. They're pretty light, but you know, this is original paint. And like I said, this car being in 1989, really a survivor. I think that scratches can be its badge of honor. So I'm not gonna worry about those. You know, just some light scratches all over the car, not a big deal. So nice and clean. Let's take a look at our kit that was sent. Pretty standard. Armor Shield 9. Let's open it up. And before I continue, there will be a link in the description for you. If you want to click on that, you can save yourself some money. And who doesn't like saving money, especially in this economy? Let's get this open. Here inside the package, you can see the container of the actual ceramic coating. It comes with a buffing rag, some gloves. I'm not going to use those. Real men don't use gloves, right? And some applicator cloths that you put around this applicator foam pad. And I'm sure you've seen plenty of people do installation of ceramic coating, so this is really no different. Let's get it on the car. So with your application pad wrapped around the actual sponge, and there are actually some indents in there. You can stick that in there if you want, but I'm used to just doing it this way. Very simply, you just put a few drops on. And then I'll start down here. You just kind of do one area. I like to go back the other way. Let that haze out. Do this area right here. And if you can see kind of a little rainbow, you can tell where you've done it and where you've not done it. I know on a white car it's pretty difficult, but I'm gonna go ahead and do probably half this hood, and then it'll be time to go ahead and buff it off. And with half the hood done, you can kind of see I did the driver's side, but not the passenger side yet. It's been on here for maybe about a minute and a half. I'm gonna go ahead and just buff it off. And pretty simple to do. If you have the right lighting, you can see where you've missed and where you still have to do. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of this hood, and I'm gonna work my way around the car. The whole car should take less than an hour. Moving on, I've got the coating applied to this whole side of the car, including the mirror and the glass. This stuff works great on trim. It actually revitalizes, you know, faded trim. Fortunately, I don't have any on this car, but it does, like plastic bumpers and things like that. plastic trim, it works wonders on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off this whole side of the car. Time invested so far is maybe 10-15 minutes. And you might want to pay special attention to areas like inside the gas door where, you know, you could get some scratches or scrapes or chemical spills or something like that. And then also the door handle area. You see a lot of older cars and they're all scratched up there from people's fingernails. That'll definitely help. So I'm done with this whole side of the car. I'm going to do the trunk, the rear bumper, the roof, and the other side. I'm not going to bore you with all those details, but I'm going to get it done, and we'll pick it up from there.
Do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end inside, just
All right, as it's finally starting to cool down, it's about almost 4:30. Got the entire car done. Not really much to see, but we're going to pick this up again tomorrow when I take this to Cars and Coffee. And I'll do a full walk around outside in the sunlight. So for me, that'll be tomorrow. But for you, it'll be right now. And welcome back. Here we are at the tail end of our weekly Cars and Coffee here in Escondido, California. Just do a quick walk around of this car so you can see. Nice and shiny. I know it's protected. Did the glass, did the trim, did the mirrors, did everything. And you can also do your wheels. Once again, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Avalon King, for providing me the product. And again, there'll be a link in the description where you can get your own kit for a reduced cost. So please, by all means, save money where possible. That'll do it for one more video. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the flip side.